against RRQ here. Beer 11 here with the DP going to be holding out the high grounds here. Going to be getting a couple shots in here, getting ASL, getting a couple knocks, shutting in. And that's going to be a really, really rough one here for them here. Ladies and gentlemen here, ASL, they're going to be smoking up their compound a little bit more, but they are going to be tanking their circles a little bit more. They have to play a little bit slow. But meanwhile, RRQ, they're going to be taking advantage of the situation here. They, by the time as G9 was pretty much knocked out at the meanwhile here, so they are going to be picking up D2E as they have to kind of figure out what's the rotation plan for the next plan here. Meanwhile, ASL, they take advantage. Looks like they want to try and finish off RRQ, but they don't exactly want to take the risk here. G9 gets picked off. ASL still running around with checking out the facilities here, but nothing is out of the ordinary yet here. D2E is going to back off. ASL trading a couple shots in here. Joker is going to retreat and hold the guns in here. And meanwhile, DA is going to catch them out in the open here as a couple of shots are going to be on its way. Beer 11 here. Wow. Actually getting knocked off towards one of the compounds and left all by himself.
Oh, G9 got shot down entirely fast, coming out from heaven. That's a death shot right in the face. And that's kind of a very casual shot. And on the other side, they are just being finished off as well. There's a heavy casualty coming up from our Q side. They didn't see this one coming. They are very split into two, very far apart. And they kind of lost the whole team, half of the team, just by doing that. A kind of a not very wise decision making, if you ask me. Abrupt players, they got themselves discovered for themselves around the farm, but they're just gonna loot things up. I do notice that Leon doesn't have any helmet on him yet. I'm not sure how these guys gonna play this one out, but apparently they are just loot while hopping to one compound to the other. Side of 4 AM, they just passed by Secret Jin just now without any harm befallen upon Team Secret Jin, but it's going to be okay for now. For how long? Because 4 AM seems to be spotting out the position as we speak, and Savant trying to spot the rest of A1 who just lingering around the corners just on top of this mountain or the hills. And it's a very quiet now. Everything goes very quiet. We do know when it comes for the quiet, it's going to be a storm coming up very soon.
Yeah, very wise decision here from 4 AM to actually huddle up into his compounds here. Especially with the circle, it's still unpredictable in this stage of the game as well, considering that it may be some parts in the military island, some parts in the mainland as well here. So they have to secure themselves here. So 4 AM, they are splitting up their forces a little bit here, getting a little bit more advantage towards the forest department here. Looks like the circle is going to be forced to get towards the outskirts of Milta. So teams from the military island is going to suffer a little bit more here. Meanwhile, Team Secret Jin, they are forced to kind of put themselves in a very, very awkward position here. Cosmo's pretty much going to be gatekeeping one of the tolls here, but meanwhile, that's not going to be a lot of cover here, whereas the rest of the teams are slowly swarming in towards the next phase of circle here. That's Lin. Looking around for those compounds here, you can see the buggy does find himself a really nice place to dock themselves here, but with very limited information yet, as the rest of the team are not pretty much grouped up yet here. As you can see, look at this, Chu. The circle pretty much very congested and towards the built-up vicinity here, and we do see a couple of teams actually tanking the zone here. What are your thoughts on that, Chu?
Oh, it's overcrowded for now. Look at the colors. They're going to be super busy the next moment. We mentioned about this. One team is going to be football. It's come out very late. Same goes for Aerowolf. Still inside, very inside of the blue. They might just going to take over the longer route. On the side of Heaven, they got themselves quite decent kills against RQ. Just now, 2 members out for RQ, but not the whole team out yet. Nova SQF, surprisingly the first team to be fallen at 16 plays at first. With RQ, only 1 member left. I don't know what happened to the rest of them, because... And I'm not sure whether it's G9 or G2E that's still surviving. Secret Jin, on the other hand, if they were to take over this compound, they need to cross that street, which is going to be an open field, an open area for everybody to shoot them down. It's more than 2 teams around that corner. It's going to be 3 precisely. And Savant start to pick the fight against Secret Jin. Kangzo returns back the favor by firing that back upon them, while Renare, on the other hand, Aerowolf gonna rotate this very late. They play kind of almost a similar style as if you ask me, the approach is almost the same as 4 AM, but there's gonna be a bit of a car flip. Don't do this at home.
Oh, very, very interesting choice here coming from Aerowolf, considering that they were on the military island self here. They actually tanked the circle twice and rotated from the island, from the western bridge, and then coming in from the western side here. That's a really huge rotation here. They might be going towards this next phase of the zone relatively late, as well as blind into those games as well, because the rest of the teams are pretty much making so much noise, so much information throughout the vicinity as well. Look at this. Team Secret Jin looks like they will solidify. They'll try to hold their grounds against 4 AM, try and contest the toll vicinity vicinity here. Gangzo getting a couple shots in here, but we do see Konina Power also going to be trying to kick a little bit of a pixel tickle here, whereas 4am is going to try and hold down the mountain terrains here. But look at this, for Hasaki, will pick up Cosmos to begin with here. That's going to be a not looking too good for Team Secret Jin. As you can see, Kagazo is going to try and pick him up here, and fortunately for him, they will be able to manage to save him in the nick of time there, Chu.
I can see the Kanina Power just now. That sway coming from the scope for Skyhill. It's not an easy dance for you to control your barrels. But meantime, it's very sparse for Kanina Power. They are kind of in between within so many teams, but they just making sure they didn't get discovered so fast. In the meantime, this purple shift a bit hard shift towards the left side, but look at that spray. Kang just a bit subpar, not clipping anybody just yet. 4am just gonna pass by without any harm before, not even a brazen check if you ask me, to pass towards the next compound they're aiming for. They got themselves into the circle just to make sure they won't get pressured by the blue as well. Zeus on the other hand already parked themselves in the middle of farm, but it's not going to be just in this compound. They'll be occupied more than one teams here, probably going to be three teams right across them, while the other two teams are fighting against each other. There's three teams breathing behind them next. In the meantime, 4am take down here. Savan will be knocked down by Zeus first, and Sinha trying to get on Navi's side. So they're picking every corner there is. 4am, they just don't know when to stop shoot, to stop moving. They just keep on finding their victims for the cross of their arsenals.
Yep, and speaking of which, 4am taking full advantage of the situation and getting a couple knocks to Team Secret Jin, and then immediately taking advantage of the situation and rotate in. So fortunately for them, they do find themselves a really nice cover to begin with here, and guess what? They are smack middle of the circle here. Meanwhile, the rest of the teams are going to be slowly creeping away in and potentially clashing in towards the guys from 4am. Meanwhile, 33 Sven here, he does get knocked off here, so Hasaki, he's trying to make a way, trying to go in for the save. However, not the most ideal situation here, because there is 14 team alive, 55 alive in this relatively small circle. This is pretty tough one here, especially even for 4am, a legendary team themselves here. Meanwhile, Zeus IC going to be making sure that 33 Sven doesn't have the easiest of pickup here, or maybe even potentially get picked off completely there, Chu. As IC actually getting knocked here, Hasaki returns the favor. 4am, they're completely on fire here. However, slowly but surely here, 33 Sven here, he is bleeding out eventually here. What is 4am going to do here? Because as of now, the rest of the members here from the southern section here, we do see BTR going to be holding on the fight against Konina Power on top of that as well. Zexer is going to get knocked off. Meanwhile, Ryzen as well, they are trading after trader here. Meanwhile, little did they know here, there is also a team creeping up behind them here, Chu.
Yeah, football has just arrived. They are the last one to be inside of the circle, but they will not stop going in. They are moving forward, and they will have to take down on Bigatron first. Their path has been crossed here, and Kanina Power just now, they got stuck between so many teams, but now stuck into another three-way battle. We talk about football is creeping behind with the DP28 Rome, trying to scope for Zoxy, being very quiet, but couldn't land a shot yet. He's a bit hesitant when it comes to making a call, and it's going to be important because you want to make sure you don't want to exploit too much for your position. The moment you open up fires, you have to make sure it's going to be one whole knockdown entirely, or not. It's going to be a waste of time, a waste of economy and resources. Now, Luxy, where would he go? He spot a couple of members in a small window, but Frozen will keep unfrozen in time. He got knocked down first on the second story of the house, but that was huge. That nade was beautiful. 100% sealed the deal from Ryzen, but it's not done yet. Bigatron, they cannot take a breather. The nade for Mobile Ryzen, he got punished out of nowhere. Where did that shot coming out from?
Football is taking advantage of the situation, going for the third party here, going fantastic stuff for him here, and now the former champion, they're gonna get swamped in as Raul gets a couple knocks in. The nades comes in to finish them off, and BTR, they're in some serious trouble. They're in between the crosshairs of both these two titans here. Tuxky trying his best to actually hold down the fort for the team. Rest of the members here coming from Bigatron Red Aliens here, and now cooking a nade here. Tuxky, can he go in for the lob? Does he connect? Looks like a good one here. Luz managed to pop the first aid here. Doesn't seem to connect there, so Luz couldn't survive. Meanwhile, Zoke actually gets started off from Microboy. He's holding down the fort, but eventually also gets taken down. Football is with tactical decision here. They are going to try and hold down the compound as the circle is slowly creeping away. 10 seconds left before the next phase comes in. Zuxi is going to be the last man standing for the former champions here. He's going to be holding down the fort. He gets another good loot here. And can he still do it for the team here? Because the circle is going to push them all out here. Football is today going for the play. pick up here. Meanwhile, Konina Power, they're just taking a chill pill. They're just slowing down their pace here. They are gonna try and third party and get a couple kills here. Meanwhile, big from also that's on open. He's gonna be in some trouble. Tries to hold down the phone, but he's out in the open. Lovers, he gets tagged down pretty low. Succeed, can he do it here? The Wonder Boy is getting flanked from multiple here. Meanwhile, Lovers, he's gonna take advantage and heal up, and Zuxi, he lives for now, but this is gonna be a really rough game here for Zuxi here, Chu.
Is a huge responsibility for Zuxi again to just make a miracle play, make a huge clutch over and over, and now it's down to him and him only to make a big impact, to make a change for the team. While in unison, they move for volley to spot out Zuxi again. I have to say, Zuxi has no way out now. He is being blocked. All exit, all way out is just being barricaded by the buggies. There's no way for him to actually escape it. If he does actually can get away from this kind of circumstances, which is too sticky for him, but footballers, they figure things out. They want to go for the safe zone first, while Rogue is scouting over Zuxi. He's just across him. Couldn't spot him out yet. This move covers him so well. Zuxi being staying very quiet, hoping and praying for balls to spot him out. Rogue still kind of figures there's somebody around the corner. They can't smell him. They sniffed out his position, but Solke is there as well for the backup. Rob Slays eliminated at 13, while Team Secret Malaysia fighting against the Titans, the powerhouse of 4 a.m. But that's not done yet. He knocks one down, I think. And now there's one more to go. He's only need to go against one, the blue. The blue closing in, but for the more, there's nowhere to go. He needs to get out. It's the fifth phase. It's not as merciful anymore. At the mercy of the blue, can he heal it on time?
Yep, he's gonna try and go for the heal here. Meanwhile, Konino Power is gonna try and smoke their way in towards the out and openness. Football is slowly creeping their way in here. Zuxi gets a couple shots in. Meanwhile, no, he gets taken out there. That will be it for Bigatron Red Alien here. A really tough circle indeed here. Footballers taking advantage here. Tactical decision. They finally creep in. Meanwhile, Konino Power, they've heard all this commotion here. Looks like they will be split out a little bit more as the circle is gonna be forcing them out in the open here. Meanwhile, another fight is about happening here. The Western side here, Team Secret, going to be gatekeeping a couple of members here coming from ALS. As you can see, Rex is slowly chipping away towards the pixels here, alongside with 4 a.m. here. This is a disastrous fight for the guys in purple there, Chu. That is hard push there coming from 4 a.m. as well as Team Secret there.
Is a complete mayhem broke up the moment. We have a bit of a hardship for the circle just now. 4 a.m. so still holding this compound quite strong. They have 4 walls to go against them, and it's not going to be that easy to take these Titans to go down. Now the Illuminati next, the Western world has kind of crumbles over as 4 a.m. triumph for now. A1 does not donate, falls down one more member here. A1 seems to be feeling popped up by the play zone as well. We're talking about Arrow, who kind of starts in the middle of nowhere, and Renard just happens to fight so many teams in front of him with only a small hut to take cover from. Digital Athletics also eliminated. What happened to all the top 5 teams? Seems to be dropping like flies as we speak. They cannot even hold their ground.
Meanwhile, in the midst of chaos as well, everyone is struggling to make it to his next phase zone as well. No cover whatsoever. Vehicles is going to be the key component here. And footballers, they're going to be looking to solidify to get them as much manpower as they can towards this next phase circle here. Meanwhile, Team Circuit has been one of the biggest threats in this game here. They've got 5 kills in total. Look at this. They're going to be trying to third party this fight. Meanwhile, they're going to be sending you high with the buggy to provide a little bit of a cover and also mobility here. Whereas Zeus is going to be smoking up in the corner of the here. Lewis will catch up Rex there. That's going to be Rex down for the count. Knocked here. As football is, they're thinking about going for the push here. Are they going to do it here? As okay, it's going to be smoking up to try and take care of the Seer. As they need it for their fight here. Looks like they won't storm out. Won't fight. Eye shots will get a couple shots in. He gets a nice knock here. Fantastically done here coming from Team Secret. But can they keep our momentum here? With Team Secret here, they are getting swarmed in. And football is, they go in for the huge swarm. A huge flank coming from Love. And they go in for the clutch save. And football is, they managed to win the 4v4 against Team Secret despite all the commotion there, too.
I don't want to be the receiving ends that's getting in the fight against footballers. They have been taking after one team to another. They're just bulldozing every single team they're fighting against. They're moving in such a great resonance as a team. They're taking all the Titans down easily. It looks so easy on their side. Zeus on the other hand, Zero is still surviving. They lost one man down. 4 a.m. as well. Might just have a couple of casualties on this side. Savant is knocked down for the many times ever, and nobody can revive him for now. It's too risky for them to expose themselves just to save one mate. Sometimes you have to neglect, you have to abandon the ship if you need to for the sake of a greater good. On the side of Zeus, Godless, oh well, I have to say he's not bulletless because he got pinned down so bad by 4 a.m. who's suppressing them to stay in the blue as much as possible. But the circle shift downwards. Again, it's going to be two teams inside of it. One of it going to be Kanina Power and Footballers again. They've been favored for this first game in day number 3.
A big nade there coming from Zeus there as they hold down the 44 a.m. is taking a lot of damage, and meanwhile they are on the furthest edge of the circle. They need to make this work here. Meanwhile, we are down towards the final 5 here. But Molotovs has been made here coming from Sinhurst. Yo, he is pretty much in a really tough spot here. He does have 9 kills for the team here. They've got a total 9 kills for Zeus, but can they do a little bit more here? Because we are down towards the final 5 team. Footballers, they have gotten 10 kills themselves here. They've conquered everyone from the south here. They've destroyed both Team Secret. On top of that, at this time, they have the high ground, they have the numbers advantage, and 4 a.m. is not in the clear yet, and Footballers is looking to rack up some serious points this game, Chu.
They just so potent. I have to say, football is coming up very strong for the first game here. Giving such an impact. Cannot even stop. 4 a.m. Husaka is still trying to pin down on the Zero. I think that's the last member for this for now. But he's going to be struggling just to the boat to flow. And no! There's going to be one more team down. Zeus on the top 5. Down to 4. Footballers. 4 a.m. It's going to be Alpha 7 and also Kanina Power has been very quiet for the past few battles here. And they're still standing down, playing at the sideline, watching about what's happening, and just gonna play it very safe because there's only white left on the side of Alpha 7. Raw, he's trying to state out some statement here. On the side of Football is still going in such a great team play come from these guys. They might be scared for now. Brazen a bit. Rovazim kind of been shot by a couple of bullets. Team another one down on top of 4 a.m. Football is they might just take away this game.
And ladies and gentlemen here, that is going to be Footballers taking the